This is Jouni Juurela from Floorball Made Simple, and today we have a different kind of video to share to you. Today we don't have any real agenda on the video, and we're not going to discuss about any precise part of floorball or something like that, but we are here to open even more of purposes behind why we do this, why was Floorball Made Simple created, and what are we trying to achieve with this project of ours. So please hear me out. I want to explain that you understand better that what are my purposes and why do I do this. And why we are doing this in Floorball Made Simple? Well, the simple answer to that question is that I know how hard it is when you're beginning your way, or if you have achieved already some high level in floorball, but if you do not have in your mind that what should I be working on next, I know those moments because when you start to coach, you are then working in according to your previous experiences on floorball or other team sports, right? So if you do not have a playing background when you start as a coach, or you do not have, there is no accessibility to get any mentoring or further guidance on what you should be working next. So I want to be that person, and we want to be the channel that provides to you that information on what you can focus on when you're starting out as a coach or as a player. And again, if you have reached already some level in floorball where you want to be, but then you set up another goal, and you might be a bit confused or thinking about what should I be working on next, because there is like hundreds and hundreds of different things you can focus on floorball. I want to be a person that helps out on that matter. And if you're wondering that where did this channel just appear from and who this guy is, did I just magically teleport from somewhere from the outer space? I wish I would have, but I have been coaching for 16 years now. Next year will be 17th season in coaching floorball. I started to coach when I was very young in the elementary or upper elementary school, and the coaching was my passion from that point forward. In the beginning, we formed a own new small club in my small town where I used to live growing up in Outokumpu in Finland, approximately 7,000 people living there. And we were able to create that club to have 150 members or so in a couple of years. And then it was time to move on and climb up the ladder. And I educated myself with the top trainer degree in floorball. So it's the level 3 in Finland. And then I went through the personal trainer certification. So I'm a certified PT as well. And I did a BBA for marketing in the University of Applied Sciences. But then I also, meanwhile doing all of that, I was able to work for 3 years full time on youth coaching and club development as head of coaching manager in 2 clubs in Finland, in Jospa Juniorit and Urheiluseura Hatsina. So I am very grateful for those clubs that I were able to work full time on clubs and develop them. I was like little over 20 years old when I got the chance. So I need to be really, really grateful for that opportunity, for that point and moment of time. And after those experiences, I went to coach in Finnish men's first division, and I was an assistant coach there for 1 season and then 2 seasons as a head coach, and it was a marvelous time as well. And that has brought me into this moment that I can share my experiences to you. Of course, I'm doing this because this creates a huge level of meaning for me. Because, like I said, I want to be a person that it is helping out people in different stages of their careers in floorball. Because I know that once you reach a certain level and you are sort of satisfied for a moment, you need to be satisfied for a moment, take joy out of your achievements. But if you're trying to set up a new goal and then you're a bit, how do you say, disorientated, or where you want to go from there, what should you do to perform in that level, to improve into that level? I want to be here helping out every kind of situation that you have as a player or a coach or a club or a team. So this creates a huge meaning for me. And for me, because the floorball has been a major passion and love for me personally, so it is an important thing for me to have some sort of influence and help out people uh, in a wide range to have phenomenal, marvelous time when they are acting in floorball, and how they can make those sessions and games and everything even more better feeling than they were previously. So I know everybody is doing a marvelous, marvelous job across the world and around the world, but I want to be a little bit contributing for my own little contribution on that fact that it is easier for you, because I've done very much mistakes in my own career, and I want to be sort of telling out what you should do and what you shouldn't do, so you don't have to bang your head against the wall like I did in the beginning of my career. And helping out coaches, players, teams, clubs across the globe. Like I said, it is important for me because this sport has a phenomenal growth potential to be even bigger and even more competitive around the world in different continents and different countries. I see that behind the top four category, if you look at the IFF ranking, and a quite straightforward way, there is huge, huge potential bubbling under. I call those the bubbling under category levels and countries and teams and leagues. So I think that there is huge potential lying beneath those top four countries. So I want to, with my own little contribution, help out on that. Those clubs that are somewhere there in the ranking, a little bit below those top four nations, that they can accelerate to get the idea of how they could become even better, even though they're doing a phenomenal job right now. But I want to share some relative and how do you say relevant and information that fits to this stage and time in this moment. And about how I want to more precisely help on that matter, helping by describing important aspects of modern floorball. Because at least personally, I'm from a farm originally. We had cows and stuff when I was growing up, so I am quite a simple guy. That's why that floorball made simple is formed. It only applies to me that I at least need to make things very simple and crystal clear so I can coach effectively. And I think that simple is beautiful. So, but at least I did have a few difficulties and issues on finding out, because I was not a top player myself. I have built all the knowledge and experience and expertise from the ground up, So in the beginning moments, it was really hard to recognize that what is essential in this game. When top level teams were playing, and I was watching as a youngster, as a teenager, those games, it was quite hard to get a grip of what they are changing within the game, what is working the best with the teams, what is working the worst with the teams, and etc. So it may be difficult to see what the top level teams are doing in the field, how they are attacking, how they are defending, and etc. And how do they change up their actions? Because top level teams, they do not have a fixed game plan. Of course, they have some sort of game plan how they approach the game, but then the opposition changes something, and you need to respond. Then another change and respond, another change, respond. So to help out people, players, and coaches where to look to find that essential information on what you could change as well. And it is not, at least for me in the beginning, it was not easy to recognize what the top level individuals are doing in floorball at the moment. And the difficulty comes, in my opinion, from that, because they are so good in so many things. They do so many actions well. Of course, individually, these technical aspects, carrying the ball, shooting, passing, moving without the ball, If you only reduce the thinking to those technical aspects, they are very good in all of those. Then it comes to the decision-making part, which is more that game intelligence. They are really intelligent and can do all the things and actions in so fast pace. So I think, and they were also very good, and they are also very good on collaborating with each other and finding that mutual understanding between each other. So at least for me, it was quite a chore to get a understanding of what the individuals are doing the best. What are they emphasizing? Because there is so wide information, on what they are able to do, but what is the essential core thing that jumps out the most? So I want to be here to explain and open up my take on that, what stands out to me the most from the top level individuals working, and if you can get some influences from that to your own improvement, that will be an acceleration button for your own improvement as a coach or a player, club, team. And why I'm talking about these top level individuals, the absolute top in the world, that is the one that it sort of forms the requirement and the demand where we need to go, right? Because this is competition in the end. They have reached the top of the competition. So if you want to be able to reach them, you need to be good enough on those similar things to climb up the ladders and reach them in that. And once you are in that sort of striking distance to them, then you of course need to find some differentiate. How do you say it? Different things to do from that they are doing. So you have to differentiate. Yeah, that was the word, from them. But in the end, you need to know what they are doing. How have they become so good? So I'm trying to help you and point out those things. And it is about building a bridge between your own situation and the desired goal situation. If you are in the starting point or where you are in the process and you want to reach the absolute top, it doesn't happen magically that you just jump to that level. You need to build a bridge that is a process like bridge, and you go step by step by step. And if you do all the steps well, you will end up with the good result. Then this is might sound a bit corny, but helping out on the kids to have phenomenal practice on floorball. I know that everybody is doing their work in the best level as possible, and you have phenomenal practice. I'm sure of that. Everybody can create good practices on floorball, but I want to share my own experiences. That what kind of exercises can bring even a better training session and have even faster transferability to the improvement of the game. Because some practices and drills that you're doing, they will have some sort of impact. But some practices that are more game-like and simulate the game better, they have a faster transfer effect on your game and improvement. And the content of the practices affects on how much the kids fall in love with our sport. If those training sessions and the aim of the session is the kind that simulates and mimics the game as much as possible, I'm sure that the kids will then love the sport even more, because they have come to the training session to play floorball. And if the training sessions are the ones that feel like playing floorball, even though it wouldn't be totally free playing, I'm sure that the feeling and the connecting to our lovely, lovely sport floorball will be even better. And better the practices are with the kids, it is easier for them to arrive to the adult squads. By this I mean that if there is too much of a jump from, let's say, U15, U16, U18, U21 age groups towards the adult teams, that the adult teams are playing and practicing in a very modern and moving and in motion like ways on their practices. But if the youth teams are only playing around and the quality is whole different from the adult teams, there is a huge gap between those realities. So I want to be able to help out on how you can create the similar kind of practices to the kids so they are in the same wavelength as the adults. They cannot be totally same, but they need to be hitting the same wall, to say it in a more simplistic way. And the aim of what you're doing with the kids, I am so happy if I can bring something new on what you are focusing with the kids, because the focus point by itself, even if nothing in the practice wouldn't change, if the focus point is more in the same way as in the adult teams, the focus point will do the trick and they will improve and love our sport. And the kids, they usually light them up even more and get a better feeling of floorball if they have some idols to look up to. Those idols can be anything. They can be those regional heroes in your own club. They can be the national heroes in your own national team, or they can be the absolute top players that are showcasing the most highest performance in floorball. But in the end, it is important that the kids have at their access some information about their idols and how they are playing. And I want to be one of those persons providing that footage and the material that the kids can look up and see their idols, recognize some favorite players, that they could watch perhaps a few of my videos and see, hey, this guy right here, Ville Lastikka, or Gabriel Kohonen, or whoever it is doing some cool stuff. So that's why I want to, if it is possible for you to share some of my videos, even to the youngsters, even if they wouldn't understand English that well. I'm not a perfect English speaker myself, but even though if they wouldn't understand the talking there, the video clips will do some trick as well. If they see how the players are doing and they can visualize what they're doing there. So that can also have an impact on what they're focusing on the training sessions. So I appreciate very, very much if you want to share some of my videos there. And I have to mention that Koreans are doing a phenomenal job, and Japanese as well. They are sharing with their floorball associations and clubs, social media sites, video clips from SSL and from F-League teams, sort of highlight clips. So that is a phenomenal job, and I need to lift my hat to you guys. So you are making exactly that. You are making those idols accessible for the youngsters, and that is a phenomenal job. I want to be here in Floorball Simple telling out the stories of floorball in a human-to-human sounding way. That is because I like personally, when I look at some of videos or something, documents or so, I like if the story is told in a way that I can, connect to that, and if it is told in a way that is very simple, that I do not have to do any sort of intelligence test at the same time, that did I understand that correctly? I don't like that kind of messaging. So that is only the reason why I have personally picked this sort of communication style on my videos. I try to avoid throwing these fancy words and those terminology that's quite hard to understand. And I try to explain this in a way that I would be in the same room with you talking about this subject in a human-to-human way. I don't know how I have done that so far. I might have been throwing those fancy and odd words a little too much, and I try to make that even better in the future, but that's my attempt. So that I want for this content to feel sort of that there is a friend of you or someone telling these things in this channel. So personally, I don't like that kind of style, that here comes this theoretical master that tells how this could be done or so and uses fancy words. I get just freaking bored on listening to something like that. So I wish I do not have that kind of sound on my own explanation. And sharing my experiences with those successful practices and mistakes I have done through my career. What I am talking about, I'm not talking about precise practices or drills. I'm talking more about good practices. What are the good traits that a coach or a floorball player or team can have. So I am trying to share my own experience that I have gotten through those 16 years. And then share those successful practices and share then the mistakes that I have done as well, because we all do mistakes, whether you're a coach or a player. So I try to tell you many of those, for example, the videos of how you should not open the game against a sort of forecheck, what comes against you. Those are only my personal experiences from that, because I have tried out many opening the game styles, and I have tried many forechecks. I have tried many sort of practice types, many sorts of tactics, and some of those are really good, and some of those just go directly to the trash bin. So it's all about trying what's working and then changing and mixing it up a bit as we go and grow in this sport. And I want maybe in some places there might not be experienced and educated coaches nearby, and it might not be easy to get influences from them. So I want this channel to be a very easy way to get some sort of new ideas to the everyday working with the team. And providing an easy way to find information on trends of modern floorball, because all the trends are changing all the time in the floorball. It's like many of those things that are now done in floorball, they are totally new to our sport. But some things and trends in floorball, they appear from every 5 to 10 years in this sports. So there usually becomes a huge buzz, and people start talking about that. They focus in that for 5 years, and then it goes away, and something new comes, and then there is a big buzz around that subject as well. So I try to help you guys out on figuring out what are the core, the sort of non-negotiables that will never change in the game and should be kept always in floorball actions, and what are the trendy new ways that you can take some bits from and transfer those into your team actions. So I try to help on that matter as well. Learning as a coach and a teacher of the team sports and this beautiful game of floorball, this sort of assessing the game and providing this, especially on the English language, has learned so much to me personally about the game. And I highly recommend for every coach that you should hold these similar kind of PowerPoint slide systems that I'm using here. You should try these out with your own teams and hold the same kind of lectures or courses or education videos or what you're using. You can do this in a live phases, or you can do this totally remotely. But I for sure, I'm really positive that you will get really good results if you try to implement something like this to your own teams, because describing these things, simplifying things, clarifying things, this improves your own communication as a coach very much. And this is a very good way to learn that you're trying to squeeze all the info that floorball has into the essentials and then point out those. So this is a good learning point for coaches as well. And my dream is to make this channel, Floorball Made Simple, a place for a dialogue. You have been, all subscribers and viewers, you have been communicating with me in a very, very good way through my social media channels. I have got so much input to my content so far, and I am very grateful for that. I lift my hat to you because you have been asking for different kind of content. But I would like to see this channel to turn even more into a dialogue where you even more provide those hopes and wishes for the future content that we could be doing. And even I would like to see that in the comment sections below or these videos, that you people would be sharing your experiences and good practices and traits that you have with those subjects that we're talking about. For example, if we are providing a video that focuses on, for example, that freedom versus structure video that was released a couple of days ago, or then that new video today that we published about the intensity in floorball or some individual technique video, that you would be commenting and sharing something from your club, because I personally want to hear your experiences, how those things have gone in your club. What have been the good things you have learned from this subject? What have been the difficult things you have learned from this subject? And I would like to see that in the comment section, people would be describing what is happening in those clubs right now, in that moment, and sharing those experiences. Because if you share those experiences, I am able to pick up even more better information on how I can form even better content for you. And then the others can also look at your experience and find out new things from your comments as well. Because I believe that this sharing of knowledge, experiences, comments, this is a very, very good a vehicle on how we can improve floorball together. So sharing experiences in the comment sections and giving more input to me through our socials, for example, is a very good way on how we can develop the whole floorball here together. And what has been the most useful info from our content? If you can comment that to our videos a little more frequently, I would be so appreciative of it, because then I will be able to decrease the amount of some content that might have not been so good or successful to you, and then focus more on those that seems to be the trend, that the people are wanting those. So please, hey, let's make this even better dialogue. Even we have made quite a good job together thus far. And hey, thanks for watching. I hope that this opened or this video opened up a little more on why we are doing the certain things in this manner. And if you have anything to comment about this channel or hopes or wishes for the future, please hit me up on my socials, Floorball Made Simple, and there's my own personal Instagram. You can follow that as well. And if this was good content, like the video, subscribe the channel, and please share these video clips that we make to your friends, colleagues, teammates, grandmas, neighbors, these grocery shop clerks, whatever. Let's make these videos shared even further throughout the globe, and I promise you, we will get even better thing out of this, and floorball will improve even more. But hey, thank you for your time. Have a good week.